Hello, 791 students. Dr. Amy Pantek here, and I'm really excited that you are, once you've completed this course, you are more than halfway finished with your DNP journey. So y'all should be very excited. I wanted to go over with you a few things for this course and some expectations for the next 8 weeks. We're in the Start Here tab, and or actually, if you can go to your Start Here tab and you can follow along or just watch the video, you will see the syllabus for 791. So I ask that you all click on the syllabus and take a look at that. We have the student learning objectives here. So student learning objective 1, for example, we're going to be finishing we're going to continue with Form A, which is the practicum hours spreadsheet. You'll, at the end of this course, complete the practicum evaluation and that ongoing form, which is the DNP completion of all program requirements. You're going to continue on that, and so on and so forth, so you can kind of see. The big thing that I want to draw your attention to, and really the crux of this course, is under Student Learning Objectives 3 and 4. So during this next 8 weeks, you are going to be writing your Chapter 2. It's very important because when we talk about your timeline, there are a couple of submission times that are specific to Chapter 2. And then under Student Learning Objective 4, permission from agency and McKendree IRB submission, what this means is you will all be applying for IRB approval, not only from McKendree, but your institution where you're going to be implementing your project. So the permission from the agency or your institution needs to come before you submit your application to IRB with McKendree. With both of these, I need to take a look at your plan and your application, so that way then I can give it a very critical view, make sure essentially that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and you've answered the questions what IRB committees are looking for. So the timeline, basically, we're going to actually enter into the contract quiz in just a little bit, but this gives a breakdown of the work that you'll be doing for this course. The project guidelines are here, as these are the project guidelines that you are probably familiar with. And then the Chapter 2 rubric is located here under the rubric section, so please look at that rubric and start creating your Chapter 2 based on the rubric. And then you will be giving a presentation just like you did back in 790. This presentation will involve your preceptor, your chair, and your reader, your second committee member. So start thinking ahead of a date and time that works for everyone's schedule. For those of you who live nearby, we can all meet face-to-face, and those of you who live remotely, we can conduct this meeting through a Zoom link. So again, just kind of keep that in mind of everyone's schedule. Usually students present around mid-July at the very latest. Some of them actually present towards the beginning of July. They have their work completed prior to that. So it really does depend on you and your motivation to get your Chapter 2 completed. So let's go ahead and go into the leadership modules. And if you notice, those student learning outcomes that we saw on the previous section, they're also listed here, so you can take a moment and read through those. Let's just go ahead and go into the contract. Now, you're not going to complete this until after you and I meet. So this first week of 791, you need to meet with me. We can either meet over the phone or through Zoom or in person if you're nearby, and we will construct a timeline. That timeline is specific to this contract. So under the first option here, or the first question here, it says the DNP Advanced Scholarly Project Chapter 2 will be completed and shared with your chair by. Following approval by the chair, DNP Advanced Scholarly Project Chapter 2 will be completed and shared with the committee by. The third question, DNP Advanced Scholarly Project Overview presentation will be completed by. IRB submission approved by chair and formally submitted by. And remember, this is that opportunity or this time when you're going to give me your plan for both the institution as well as McKendree's IRB. So how the process works is you submit to your institution first, where you're going to be giving the project implementation. Some institutions have an IRB, others do not. So those that do not, you'll need to have some form of an approval letter. And then we take that, and then based on their feedback and their recommendations, you're going to construct the IRB application for McKendree. And I will take a look at that at that time, once you have that one done as well. And then you're going to submit that letter of permission from your institution along with your application for McKendree's IRB approval. So it's a process, starting with developing a plan, your application for your institution's IRB or their approval committee of some sort. And then once you have that letter, then you construct your IRB application for McKendree. And then again, you'll submit that to me so I can take a look at it. And then once I give you approval, then you take that letter from your institution and your application to McKendree's IRB, and then you submit that to the McKendree IRB. And then finally, the completion of the preceptor evaluation. So this is basically the timeline. Like I said, there are some other checkpoints along the way, but I just wanted to share with you what the contract looks like that we'll really be focusing on during our meeting of that first week of this course. So, and then of course the other area to look at is the forum. This is just a place that you can give me, post questions. Most of us pretty much just communicate through email, so if that works for you, you don't really have to post anything here. And then of course the student lounge, wherever, if you want to talk amongst yourselves, there's an area that you can do that. So what you'll need to do for this first week is get in touch with me if you haven't already. We'll establish a date and time that we can talk about your timeline and your contract for this course, and we'll just go from there. So I look forward to talking with all of you. Thanks.